Alright, greetings everyone and welcome to another video. Camera's over here, so I have to look over here. And today, I'm going to do my best to not be stumbling through this video and the information, but hey, guess what? Sometimes that's what happens when you're sick. Anyway, coming off of streaming a bit of Resident Evil 4 DLC, and speaking of spooky things, let's get right into it. All right, so first off, version 8.5 is coming to JP. This isn't really anything too, how should I say this, special. It is a new version, but any major updates are basically going to be coming with the 4.0 anniversary. So yeah, this is pretty much going to be really just. So let's move on to the next thing and talk about the producer letter, I should say. And this is pretty unusual because we don't normally get these mid-month. So let's see what it says. Here we know from Square Enix, the producer of the FFB series. Thanks to you for Phantom and War of the Visions. We'll celebrate its 4th anniversary on November 14th, a Tuesday. Cool. Today we have something to tell you about the start of this year's anniversary event. We've decided to deliver the Producer's Letter 44 in mid-July. We informed everyone to a change in the timing of the upcoming anniversary event from Wednesday 1st. We will be running the 4th anniversary campaign to commemorate the 4th anniversary of the Japanese version. We are considering various campaigns for the 4th anniversary event starting November 1st, so please look forward to it. So basically, 4th anniversary will be starting as of November 1st. And yes, all right, moving on. We have an event quest, basically guard the gates. If you've seen these before, you know exactly what you do. Waves of enemies, try not to let the gate die. We're also going to have a pickup match on JP, is what it is. New arena map focusing on Earth and And next up, the next of the Ashes of the Apocalypse Part 2. And as you can see, we're going to be having a specific character. That's right, Dario is going to be making a return for this next chapter bit. And guess what? He's not alone, as you know. Now, personally, I'm not super familiar with Dario, so I do not know if that's a new version of him or not, but it definitely is Dario. But we also have another character in the back who I'm not familiar with who exactly this is. Is this another Warrior of the Crystal? Is this... Because, I mean, at some point, this is Horn, so Dario isn't that old as far as I know, so... Are we looking at the recent past? In which case, that's probably not Lilith. So what's going on here? Well, tons of intrigue. Is Dario going to be our November 1st character? Is Redheaded Girl going to be our November 1st character? You'll have to wait and find out. All right. Now, speaking of which, we did get the hint that axes are going to be the next major thing. And wouldn't you know it, a brand new axe for a brand new character. So here is the Halloween character details. And boy, oh boy, who had on their bingo card Lucio? Because actually, yes, Lucio is getting a Halloween version, which honestly, I mean, there are some people out there who love Lucio. He's pretty cool, and it looks like we're getting an axe-wielding vampire-type character, as well as a new vision card. So let's take a look at the details. First off, now, I'm kind of seeing this for the first time, so I'm going to be doing some quick translations, but things to note. He is a 70 cost character, which means that he will be slightly easier to get. From what I can kind of see, we got Fencer and Lancer as a sub job. He's an Earth Elemental character, and this is kind of interesting. Lancer means that he does have spirit attacks, which are potentially pretty hot right now. Fencer, I'm less excited about, but it is a newer job. And his main job is Axe Knight, which, if I'm correct, guess what? I do believe that there was a character recently who had that on the JP side. And I do believe, I'm just checking really quickly, it's Grifford. So very similar type offensive and defensive. Select multiple targets, remove auto revive, potentially a status effect or two with him. So that's essentially what we're looking at as the blueprint for Lucio. But let's take a look here, as we do have two abilities and shuffling them through here. First off, Limit Burst. Increase your own slashing attack resistance penetration rate for 3 turns. Damage to targets within range large. Haste effect that increases the speed at which you take your turn. So interesting. Haste on this Limit Burst. The Limit Burst is AoE. It does have a slight removing, essentially, of flash attack resistance penetration from the enemy, so pretty good mix, it looks like. As for a second ability, creates a barrier that prevents damage to yourself of a certain amount, like those. Increase attack speed and evasion rate for 4 turns. So, a couple of things I note. First, that's a pretty long buff for him. It does increase a lot of the things that he potentially wants. It's interesting seeing evasion on here, because evasion isn't something that I think Earth has really been playing around with too much. So I'm curious, is this a huge evasion boost? Is this just moderate? Is he kind of wishy-washy in terms of his design? Are we looking... Because Axe Knight is a pretty defensive class, so being able to have, like, increased evasion, is it just an extra bonus, or is it just a throwaway thing? Tough to say, but really interesting to say the least, and I'm hoping that this is going to be an interesting one. Taking a look at his master ability, we're looking at slash attack resistance penetration up to 15 and a reaction rate prevention of 20. Either way, 70 cost characters like this are usually pretty cheap to end up getting. And that's kind of cool for a Halloween unit, because it means, hey, maybe just a fun little vampire version of Lucio for people out there. So cool. Next up, we do have a vision card as well. And a vision card, you know, usually these have vision card abilities, and guess what? One definitely does. So we'll take a peek here in just a second. I was just going to see if we got some details here on my extra source. All right, so we're looking at attack and evasion rate up for the bestowed effect. So again, pushing further into an evasion rate team for this character. We're also looking at luck and spirit up as the party abilities, which is curious as well. And it is overall a speed job-based vision card. So speed vision cards should never be underestimated. I'm curious of what the overall stats. This is kind of helter-skelter in terms of like a theme. As for the type of units, sword warrior, sword knight, excuse me, axe and glove. So I'm curious about, personally, like, nothing overly comes to mind. The artwork is tip-top notch for this. Like, you look at it and Renoa is supported by this vision card. Like, earth elemental characters are kind of the thing that we're most curious about. Moraga is supported. Halloween Frederica is supported. So maybe that's a team that you're kind of looking at building at here. Light evasion maybe might like this vision card. Tough to say without seeing. But the artwork is just stupendous. We're looking at, is that the two brother and sister, Lamega and I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but Medusa and kind of a zombie or mummy sort of thing. Cool. Love the artwork on this. It's just so great. As for the last thing, the vision card ability. Damage to targets within range. Absorbs a portion of the damage dealt. Increase your own attack resistance penetration rate before attacking if HP is below 50%. So kind of an, well, I'll just say it. It's an interesting vision card because essentially this could just be a really good thing for most slash attack characters, older slash attack characters that need an extra source of slash attack resistance penetration. It is a little scary that you have to be below 50% HP, but trading HP for power is kind of a neat Halloween theme of like dark side power. So I can go for it. But overall, interesting mix this year. Obviously, we've gone away from Salire, which was supposed to be the thing that I think we were originally expecting, and into kind of just a Lucio thing, which is interesting. So this week, things to look forward to. Some details from another story, potentially for Dario or another character. Halloween Lucio, which will be coming to Global probably next week, if I'm tracking it correctly, as well as this vision card too. So up-to-date details. But yeah, that's everything for this. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and see you later. Happy Spooky Month.